Hello, everybody. My name is Heather. Welcome back to the Graphics Fairy. I'm from Ruby and Pearl, and today we have Tag Team Friday. So I'm going to be sharing how to create this really beautiful celestial tag. And I'm choosing this beautiful image from the Graphics Fairy of the three women under the night sky with the stars above. And I just love that image so much. It's from the bundle called Endless Skies. And yeah, so I am going to be creating this tag. There are 5 elements in the tag, and the concept is just to kind of create layers with kind of going from top to bottom. So you see there that I have an old piece of ledger under there, and I just had that in my scrap bin. If you don't have any ledger or old paper like that, you can certainly print something from the Graphics Fairy. They have a ton of different things like that. So, and then my focal point is going to be the beautiful women under the night sky. Love that so much. And I'm just going to be layering these pieces together here. You see that I have a little piece of embossed paper that is just going to add a little bit of texture. So if you don't have any embossed papers, you could easily use um, a piece of fabric to give a little bit of a different texture. Or if you could go to your local craft store and you could probably find some textured paper of some kind in the craft aisle. I mean, the paper aisle. So yeah, so I'm also using a tea-dyed file folder for my base for my tags. I use that a lot for tags. Just gives like a nice sturdy base, but it also has that like little bit of age to the edge. And I just really like how it feels whenever I use those file folders. So I'm just kind of roughing up and inking the edges of this page. And I'm about to rip the one corner off. I didn't mean to. And so, yeah, I'm going to put that back together once I glue it on. But yeah, so I just kind of took a little bit of ink, went around the edges, going to glue that on. So you can see I have the ledger, then I have the embossed paper, then I have the picture, which is our focal point. And I'm just sort of layering from top to bottom. So if you just get yourself 5 elements and layer from top to bottom, that would be a really good way to kind of mimic this tag. So sometimes it helps me when I'm creating tags or even any kind of art to just break it down into like, okay, how many elements do I want to use on this? And sometimes I just sort of give myself that challenge of, okay, I'm going to use 3 elements to create this tag, or I'm going to use 5 elements to create, whatever. So in this one, we're using 5. And I am using that little piece of vintage tape. But if you don't have anything like that, you could easily use washi tape or even just cut yourself a little strip of some kind of paper that coordinates with whatever you are putting on your tag. And then I have this ruffle that I am putting on. It's just some sari silk that I ran through my sewing machine and created the ruffle. And usually whenever I make my ruffles, I do make them ahead of time. I don't usually sew directly onto my projects. I just make my ruffles and glue them on usually. So yeah. So that's what I'm doing there. So we have the ledger, the embossed paper, the ruffle, that vintage tape, and our image. And so then I usually just take a tag or something that I have to kind of give those guides to create the tag shape. Because sometimes if I try to just eyeball it, I never get it right. So on the back, I am putting this image from the Graphics Fairy as well. It's from the Luna, the Magical Queen bundle, which also has some of the most gorgeous celestial images. And I always wanted to create a journal with all of their moon and nighttime images. They have a lot of really beautiful ones. So I like the blue on there, and it's just of the solar system. So I'm putting that on the back of this tag. And I forgot to measure how big this tag is, but it's kind of big. You can see with my hands, you can kind of gauge. I made it a little bit larger. So yeah, you can make tags any size, you could go big, little, whatever. So I'm just putting a little bit of embossed paper at the top there to cover that last section that was empty. And I think it gives just such a nice, like, look to when you add a little bit of textured paper. It like takes the flatness away or something like that. So just aging around the edges and making it look a little bit more finished. So that's pretty much it. I have this little rhinestone piece here that was attached to a little string. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on with my Fabri-Tac glue. And I was thinking that the sparkly little bit of that reminded me of like how the night sky sparkles with the stars. And yeah, so that was why I kind of added that. I thought that was a really cute little touch. And then I'm just going to take my Crop-A-Dile and put a little hole in there and add an eyelet so that it just gives a nice finished look to the top of your tag. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more of that sari ribbon that I used for the ruffle and put it through the top. And then our tag is done. And it is just so simple. You can make this in like 5 minutes and just get your elements and have fun. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this process, and I will see you next time.